Hey y'all, it's my review for The Real Housewives of Dubai, episode 6 and 7. I apologize about the delay. Last week I was just so overwhelmed. I was just like, let me just combine these two episodes. So yeah, thanks for your patience. So episode 6 starts out with Brooks and Ayan going furniture shopping, and already Ayan got her stiletto on our necks with this yellow outfit. I'm just like, they're going furniture shopping. Why is she dressed for a movie premiere? Like, this woman will wear a ball gown to the grocery store. Brooks has her kid with her as well, and she's sharing how much joy she gets from motherhood. She also tells us about her relationship with Ayan, and they're basically frenemies. She says sometimes she wants to rip her head off, and then the next day, they'll be friends again. We then see Brooks tell Ayan she's having a pool party, and I think all the other ladies are invited too. Next scene, we're with Caroline, her boy toy, as well as her parents. They're all gonna be staying at this super fabulous hotel leading up to their wedding, which is in 7 days. Now, we're 6 episodes in, and I'm sorry, but Caroline still acts like she had the biggest stick up her ass. Like, she's just not likable. Anybody who's familiar with Ladies of London in the chat, please let me know what you liked about Caroline Stansberry, please. I need to understand the appeal. Next scene, we're with Lisa, Nina, and Caroline as they're meeting up for lunch. Now, Nina organized this lunch because according to her, these bitches won't stop fighting. So she wants them to all talk out their differences at this lunch. We see them all sitting at the table, and there's definitely tension between Lisa and Caroline, I'm sure from the birthday party in episode 5. Oh, and look who shows up fashionably late. It's Ayan. Okay, and again, she is killing it in this red outfit. I'm not sure if they're feathers or what it is, but she looks straight up out of a Vogue editorial. And as Ayan sit down, I definitely saw the look on Nina's face that she gave to Caroline. The look on her face said, this bitch is so fucking extra. I knew she was thinking it. Caroline is talking to the ladies about her wedding dilemma. She's making a big deal about sitting with Sergio's parents. And this woman is colder than a polar bear's nutsack. I swear. Just so icy and frigid. And side note, here go Nina ordering her french fries again. I mean, she orders french fries at a restaurant like how I order mac and cheese. So then Ayan brings up the friction between Lisa and Caroline tells Lisa that she felt that she attacked her and she was coming off aggressive. Now, white people, like, just be careful when you call a black person aggressive. It can be a microaggression. It really can, because a lot of black women, like, they're seen as aggressive when they're really not. They're just passionate about what they're saying or defending a point. I think she could have used another word. And plus, Caroline, as we can see by production, she started that. Like, she was totally out of pocket, and Lisa reminds her that, yeah, you told me to suck your husband's dick. And now Caroline wants to backpedal and pussy pop on that and say, oh, it's British humor, darling, British humor. Well, your British humor gonna get you popped one day. She gives Lisa a very disingenuous apology, blaming on her British humor, and I just think it's a cop-out. Lisa then passive-aggressively accepts her apology, and it looks like they're gonna move on. Next scene, we're with Sarah, and she's at a forum for global citizens. She's gonna be a host, and she invited Ayan to come to the event. Ayan walks in again. 3 killer outfits in the first half of the episode. She's in this gold number. Ayan's a star. Like, she is putting Erica Jane to shame. Ayan, like, she's in a whole other stratosphere with the fashion. So they're talking about life and therapy, and I think for the first time, we're seeing how preachy Sarah can come off. Especially from what she's telling Ayan. She actually told her, you can be more like me. And yeah, I would be like Ayan, like, bitch, what? However, I do want to give Sarah the benefit of the doubt. Sometimes people like her just do it involuntarily and they don't even realize they're doing it. I think if she's just told that, hey, you're coming off really preachy and judgmental, like, maybe she'll, stop when she's aware of it. So later in the evening, as Sarah's hosting the event, we see Ayan sitting down with her husband, and did she just shade Sarah? It looked like it. It certainly didn't look like Ayan was enjoying herself. Next scene, we're at Brooke's pool party, where she also has her friends from Boston joining. Now, wait a minute. These 2 men with her, they're brothers? These 2 gay men? I'm confused. I could have sworn it was a couple, but she says they're brothers, but I ain't buying it. So now we finally hear from the ladies in their confessionals about what it's like being LGBTQ+ in Dubai. From my perspective, I'm thinking it's dangerous to be a gay person in that area. But according to them, they said Dubai is forward thinking, and I don't know. I think they're embellishing just a little bit because according to Caroline, she's like, gay people are fine here, but as long as you don't show affection or something like that. But then I'm thinking, can gay or straight people show affection in public? Look, I don't know. I would go to Dubai just to visit. I wouldn't probably do any gay shit there. Cause I value my freedom and my life. They say Dubai is progressive, but it's given don't ask, don't tell. Anywho, looks like all the ladies are there except for Sarah. Now, Sarah needs to go to more events because it looks like Caroline's boy toy has more screen time than her. He's actually like the official 7th housewife. And speaking of Sarah, Ayan is talking to Lisa about going to Sarah's event and how preachy she came off talking about kindness as if she wasn't kind herself. That's how she took it. A little later on, Ayan brings her gay friends to the party and I'm like, who is that? He was looking fine. Like you even saw Brooks like, who's that? Who's that? Like, who's your cute friends, Ayan? And of course, Ayan is like, darling, all my friends are cute. We actually see Sarah FaceTime the lady saying she couldn't make it. Meanwhile, Brooks is on 10 right now, trying to be the center of attention. She's very extra. The topic of conversation now is Brooks talking to Caroline and her 2 gay friends about boarding school because she's thinking about putting her son in it. Caroline actually says she's traumatized from boarding school. Like, she went to boarding school from age 6 to 18. Judging from her personality, you know what? It explains a lot. Now, even though she views boarding school as a bad thing, she withholds her opinion about it to Brooks because in her confessional she says it's just not her place. Now, remember that for the last part of the episode because Caroline was smart not to tell Brooks about it. So on the other side of the pool, we have Lisa, Ayan, and Nina talking, and Ayan confronts Nina about just a weird energy between them. She said she felt like Nina wasn't a friend to her when she was beefing with Caroline. Nina, I think she prefers to be Switzerland in these drama between her friends. And sometimes that don't work out well because friends on each side, they want your opinion. They want you to pick a side. And Nina isn't that type of person who wants to pick a side. Like, she wants to remain neutral. Nina assures Ayan that there's no bad energy between them. Like, she says her mind is in a different place with her dad being in the hospital because of COVID. She then gets very emotional and starts breaking down talking about it. Now, on the other side of the pool, the other ladies see this and they tell Sergio to go over and see what's going on. So nosy, and why is she sending her boy toy to do her dirty work? They really need to put Sergio in the beginning credits and give him a tagline. Next scene, we're with Caroline, and this is a very Caroline heavy episode. So she's meeting her dad for dinner, and 10 seconds of seeing her dad on screen, I can already see the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Her daughter also joins her for dinner, and Caroline has no problem telling them that Sergio's dad offered him money not to marry her. I'm guessing this is why she doesn't want to feel obligated to sit with them the whole wedding. She then spends the rest of this dinner defending the idea of marrying her boy toy. Next scene, we're at Brooke's house and she's holding an intimate dinner for her friends, the Gay brothers, and Sarah. So they're all at the table now, and Brooks also invites her son down to eat with them too. The vibe is really awkward at the table, and I think she should have sat closer to her son. So her son goes back upstairs, and then Brooks asks Sarah her opinion on boarding schools because she wants to put her son in one. Sarah out the gate is blunt as fuck and tells her boarding school is for people that don't have time for their kids. When Brooks tells Sarah that she's thinking about putting her son in one, Sarah tells her that she wants to say something, but she doesn't want to come off too intrusive. And Brooks then invites Sarah's opinion on it. And Sarah tells her that she thinks she can be more closer to her kid. That's the wrong road. Wrong road, wrong road. I think she shouldn't have said that, even if Brooks welcomed her opinion. Brooks then talks about how she raises her son, how she wants him to be poised in front of adults, and her friend next to her says, well, yeah, but you gotta let kids be kids. And I agree with that, but I still think kids need discipline too. Brooks does not care what her friend said next to her thinks. She said that her mother was militant and raised her that way. Sarah then says, well, don't you want to break the generational cycle? Brooks is getting increasingly irritated. And it looks like her friend who's known her, like I'm guessing since childhood, is being sarcastic or kind of playing with her, trying to like keep it light, but it's not working with Brooke. She tells him to shut the fuck up. She must not be worried that her child might be able to hear her upstairs. Her gay friend and her are going back and forth right now, and she is going off on him. And Sarah's trying to break down the situation, but it looks like she's more mad at her friend than Sarah, but she's also mad at Sarah too. They definitely hit a nerve, and now it's kind of scary and extremely awkward at the table. This other guy at the end of the table sitting next to Sarah, I'm guessing he's the friend of the friend, he's just shutting the fuck up. He knows his place. Brooks then tells all of them at the table that none of y'all tell me how to raise my child. Ooh, those eyebrows were up when she said that. And that is where the episode ends. I think she kind of overreacted. Such a painfully awkward ending. But now, on to episode 7. So we open with Ayan, of course, and she's in a designer studio modeling some clothes for like a future runway. I really love Ayan's relationship with her son. It really makes her more likable and humanizes her. And it's so interesting how Ayan can be so full of herself, yet super endearing. Not to mention that all the clothes she's trying on in this scene look amazing on her. I love her. I can't wait to meet her at BravoCon. Next scene, we're with Caroline and her boy toy, and it looks like both of their parents are about to meet each other. She lets us know that their parents are very, very, very different from each other. And Caroline then gives us a fun fact that she's 18 years older than Sergio and 10 years younger than his dad. And of course, the first microaggression is by Caroline's parents, who arrived first, asking Sergio, does his parents speak English well? So then Sergio's parents arrive, and they look just white adjacent enough not to scare Caroline's parents off. This is so cringe and awkward right now. I can see why Caroline doesn't want to sit through this at the wedding. I also didn't know Sergio was Spanish. I actually didn't know what he was. But so much uncomfortable laughter in this scene. I'm uncomfortable watching this. So this meetup didn't go too off the rails. We then see both sets of parents toasting to Caroline and her boy toy. Next scene, we're at Lisa's residence, and we see she's still got that damn goat, like the kids in the backyard playing with it. She gets a FaceTime from Brooks, and Brooks is telling her about the awkward and explosive dinner she had with Sarah and her gay friends. Brooks is clearly still hot from that, but Lisa agrees with her and says Sarah is the queen of giving unsolicited advice, and also calls her a walking Instagram post. I can kind of see it. But I still think Sarah is just unaware how she comes off. They are roasting Sarah right now in this scene, and now they're talking about her doctorate and if it's legitimate or not. Now, according to Sarah, she has an honorary doctorate in women's empowerment. If anybody in the chat is familiar with honorary doctorates, does that make you a doctor? Feel free, because I've always been curious of the legitimacy of that title. So it looks like the next time all the ladies are going to be seeing each other is at Caroline's engagement party coming up. Next scene, we're with Nina in her fabulous apartment, and she's talking to Sarah on FaceTime. Of course, Sarah's telling her side, since apparently Brooks already talked to Nina. Sarah says she would never tell Brooks how to raise her child, and she was actually just arguing with her best friend and not so much her. Now, the way I see it, I think it's just a big miscommunication between the women. Like, Sarah, I think she meant well, she had good intentions, but how does that saying go? Like, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Like, I don't think she shouldn't even gave an inkling that Brooks needed to be closer to her child. And I think Brooks definitely overreacted, and she took offense to it when she should have just said her point and maybe done so without yelling at her best friend. Like, she got really offended by this, and then she's going around telling all the ladies what happened and what Sarah said. Nina tells Sarah she sees her point. She's definitely the queen of being stuck in the middle, ain't she? And it looks like they're definitely going to confront each other, Sarah and Brooks, at Caroline's engagement party. Now, wait a minute. Didn't Caroline already have an engagement party on the boat? Like, what was that? So now we have another engagement party that's going to be a white party. Next scene, we're with Caroline. She's getting ready for her party, and she seems super stressed out and uptight. more than normal because a lot of people had to cancel because of COVID, including her party planner. She then gets a text from Sarah on the group chat, and Sarah has put Brooks on blast in front of all the ladies, saying she's speaking some bullshit and she's telling her side of the story. In the text, she's clarifying what really happened from her perspective, mostly because she heard Brooks was trash talking her to everybody. Meanwhile, we see Caroline treating her boy toy like a minion like she always does. So next scene we're with Nina and her husband as they're on their way to Caroline's engagement party. She's talking about how worried she is about her dad. She's talking about how worried she is about her dad that's still in the hospital due to COVID. And she's going to this event solely to get her mind off of that. So now we're at Caroline's engagement party. It's in the middle of the desert and folks are arriving. We see Lisa, Ayan, and her husband coming up. And Ayan, look, she is dressed so extravagantly. Of course, she's like straight off of the pages of Vogue right now in this white outfit that kind of can substitute for a wedding dress. It even has a train. Now, Ayan, I love you, but you showing up to this lady engagement party dressed better than her. Like, you look like you the one about to get married. I do admittedly think that it's pretty rude, and Caroline has every right to be mad at her. I would be mad. It kind of reminds me of when Cynthia had her wedding and Portia came in this bomb black gown. Like, it looked better than Cynthia's wedding dress. And I said in my review, if I was Cynthia, I wouldn't have let Portia in. Now, I'm sure Ayan didn't do it on purpose, or did she? But she can't help how fabulous she looks. Like, she is wearing that dress. I really don't think she saw a problem with it, which is the problem within itself. So as Caroline and Sergio arrive, I'm guessing what Ayan is wearing is just so loud and ostentatious that Caroline can see her from the car and she is pissed. She's like, is Ayan wearing a wedding gown to my event? I mean, she has a right to be pissed, y'all. What Ayan did is foul, straight up. So as Caroline's making her rounds at the party, she passes Ayan and them and passive-aggressively tells Ayan, oh, you came to my event, like, dressed as me? Dressed as me? Caroline is also over-exaggerating her confessional, saying that Ayan came with a veil on. Now, I would say that all Ayan was missing on that outfit was a veil. Caroline then says out loud so Ayan can hear, possibly the rudest wedding guest ever. I mean, she's right. I mean, I would love to know what y'all think. Was Ayan wrong for coming to her party dressed like that? Be honest in the comments. I know we love Ayan and can't stand stick up the ass Caroline, but be honest, y'all. If somebody came to your wedding dressed like that or your wedding party, y'all would have a fit too. We then cut to Ayan's confessional with her saying, I could never show up looking like Caroline. For starters, I'm a gorgeous black woman. And second, I'm wearing couture. What she's wearing, she says the name of the dress. I couldn't hear it, but it has nothing on what Ayan is wearing. Period. Dot. So Brooks arrives at the party with her gay entourage and she looked like she ready to fight. And for some reason she's mad at Nina now? Now see, somehow Nina always finds herself in the crossfire. Y'all notice that? Now wait a second, Brooks. Like, you bashing Sarah to everybody in the group, but you mad at Nina for telling her friend Sarah like what you're saying about her, which is basically disparaging. That's not fair. Like, why are you mad at Nina? So meanwhile, Sarah is sitting with Lisa and Ayan and she's telling them her side of the story. But we're back with Brooks and Nina now, and she's letting Nina have it. She's like, Nina, I trusted you. You went behind my back and told Sarah what I said? Brooks. Messy ass Brooks got a problem with somebody talking behind her back when she talks about all the cast members in the confessionals as well as to each other behind their backs. Hypocrite. And poor Nina right now looks like she about to crumble because she already got her dad on her mind and now she got this belligerent woman yelling at her and she's just too tired to fight back. I feel sorry for her. We're back with the other ladies now and they're telling Sarah how they can see Brooke's point whether her intentions were good or not. Like I said, you know, it's still her child and no mom wants to be told how to raise their child. Point blank, period. Poor child, and Brooks is still going off on Nina. I'm sorry, if I was Nina, I would have walked away or I would have went off on her contradicting ass. divorce. However, I do see that they're in a good place now because I saw them on Watch What Happens Live together and they were all buddies. So I'm glad they got over that. So then Nina makes her way to the other ladies and she is just completely rattled by Brooks and looked like she's about to cry, and the other ladies are comforting her. So it's later in the party now, it's like nighttime. Where did Brooks go? So she didn't go by the ladies at all, like during the sunset. And also, the less I see of Caroline in this scene, the better, because she's boring. Brooks then finally makes her way to the other ladies, and the first person she sees is Sarah. And Sarah gives her a big hug, and it's a long hug, and it's very awkward, as well as fake. Just watching this, Brooks reminds me of somebody I used to be friends with who was very nice, nasty, like made everything about her, and could be just vicious and venomous about the most minute things. So her and Sarah decide to step away from the other ladies to talk one-on-one. Brooks is clearly drunk though, so I'm not sure if this is a good idea. So they're talking, and Sarah clarifies that the exact words that she said was she should be closer to her son, not more affectionate. But be that as it may, she was implying that, and she should acknowledge that to Brooks. Brooks is owed that. However, Brooks is being very irate right now, and she's yelling at Sarah. And then Sarah threatens to leave if she continues to raise her voice at her. It's clearly a miscommunication between the two, but speaking of that, Sarah then tells Brooks, I dare you to like drop this act right now. I want to see the real Brooks. And for some reason, a drunk Brooks takes this as a threat from Sarah, and mind you, they're right here to each other. They're very close. I'm not sure if she just heard the word, I dare you. Like Sarah said, I just want you to like drop this demeanor right now and talk to me. That's what Sarah meant, but I think that went over Brooks' head. Brooks then tells Sarah, why don't you drop this fake Miss Perfect act? We still don't know who the real Sarah is. They are too close for comfort right now, and Brooks is getting louder to the point where a producer has to step in. Like, Brooks better be careful before she wind up in jail, because they did say in a previous episode that, you know, swearing and cursing, fighting in public, that's illegal. So then we see Sarah asking the producer, what the fuck is this? And then Brooks is like, what the fuck is this? Lord, and then the screen fades to black. We're left on the cliffhanger of to be continued. And that is where the episode ends, y'all. Like, that was intense. I think Dubai is bringing it, y'all. I hope y'all not sleeping on it. Brooks is overreacting. She had a point with Sarah. Like, Sarah was in the wrong, but the way, like, Brooks is reacting, like, it's completely out of line. Again, I would love to know whose side y'all on. I'm gonna start editing this because this Dubai review is late enough. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see y'all for the next episode. Bye.